The hollow body press is great to challenge your core, your chest, and your triceps. Start with the tuck body position with the knees tucked to the chest, and make it harder by extending the legs away from the body, and you make it further more challenging by dropping the legs closer to the floor while maintaining a good flat back position, and again, keeping the shoulders as high off the ground as you can. You'll notice on a lot of these drills, all of them, I use a fat grip because I like to get more arm activation. I feel like it's a little bit more pressing friendly as well, so you can mix that in too. Floor presses build the top half of your press. They're also great for people with shoulder pain because you can modify the range of motion a bit. You can do them with your butt on the floor or get more glute activation and actually create a decline angle by going from a bridge, which I prefer to do it. And you can even add a kind of combination pattern where you're bridging into the press as demonstrated, so you can mix it up, have some fun with it, whether it's mid-set, set to set, or returning to this in a future session. But it's just a great way to kind of warm things up. And again, you can go very heavy in this. You can also go light for higher reps. Sit-up presses are among my favorite ab and shoulder exercises. A couple ways you can do this. You can do some floor presses first, and then you can sit up and then do some seated presses, kind of mix between that. One of my favorite options, not shown though, is 2 floor presses to 1 overhead press and just flowing that in that for time. Or you can go 1 and 1, 2 and 2, 3 and 3. You can even combine kind of a sit-up press action as shown, which really challenges your core. Make sure you can control the eccentric portion and make sure your lower back is ready for it. Seated presses done with the legs bent at 90 degrees and a slight recline of the trunk are an incredible ab exercise. That weight wants to throw you back, so you got to really fight to maintain position. It also gives you what's essentially a high incline pressing angle, taxing the delts, but also hitting the upper pecs or the clavicular portion of the pectorals, which makes you look really good, shirt off, good tight shirt, fitted shirt, or a tank top, so it's nice to hit that angle as well. Pretty easy on the shoulders as well, so have fun with this one and really pump it up. The straddle press is one of my favorite hip mobility drills. Get those legs as wide as you can, stretching the groin or adductors. Also great challenge for the core to stay upright with that trunk. I'm using the rotational Arnold press pattern here, right? Dumbbells together at the beginning, finishing overhead with that overhand grip, so you actually get all 3 heads of the delts worked with that sweeping action. But you can apply the Arnold press to any of the previous variations. For the most part, you can also go hammer grip, overhand, mix it up, whether it be this variation or the others. The Shin box press is another amazing hip mobilizer, winding the hips into internal and external rotation with that 90-90 positioning. Notice how one dumbbell is off to the side to give you kind of that support, so you keep your trunk as upright as possible, but also still be active in that shoulder. Don't let yourself shrug. Pack that shoulder down. And then the other side, good, clean single arm presses, working in balances between sides, and then pay attention to which of the Shin boxes are more problematic for you and work that position more on off days or during recovery periods. Split kneeling presses will mobilize your hip flexors, improve your lunge or split squat position, and it's also great for those that have lower back pain or shoulder mobility issues, because that split stance actually helps you get better pelvic, lumbar spine alignment, and it's easier to kind of keep that chest up without hyperextending the back. Notice how on the right I'm playing with a really good low sweeping underhand grip. I don't necessarily get all the way up, but I can get a really good stretch at the bottom. So play with your grips, have fun with it, and try to balance a glass of water on your head. The standing press is an ultimate test of full body strength, mobility, and stability. You got to keep those ribs and shoulders down, abs crunch, and glutes squeeze to protect that lower back. Notice I'm playing with a bunch of different gripping options here too. That closer grip, kind of crush grip, is going to stress more of the front shoulders and triceps, and that wide grip is going to get more medial delt and overall shoulder, because there's a little less tricep contribution there. But play with the grips, whether it's between sets, mid-set, have fun with it, and really get after those delts. Push presses essentially involve a quarter squat to overhead press. So that good hip dip, the knees are gonna go forward, but you also wanna kind of get that butt back a little bit, especially if you have a history of knee issues. But try to keep that trunk as upright as possible as you do these, and you wanna load it down eccentrically and then explode up. Use that leg and hip power to drive the weights overhead. It allows you to go faster, get more overall reps. It's also a great way to kind of continue a set when you get really fatigued and you can't do strict presses. Push presses can allow you to keep going. Thrusters, or the squat to press combination, is a true metabolic nightmare. Now, these can be done faster for short work periods, going for something like a minute. I actually like to slow it down, a nice good slow eccentric, loading up those hips and legs and then exploding up. But control the lowering, explode up. There's constant tension on the delts, and this is a full body fat burning exercise because you're bringing the legs and hips into the equation. So this will really test you. Great for fat loss, metabolic conditioning. Stay in the game. Alternating split jerks are a great full body fast twitch power training exercise adapted from Olympic lifting, much safer with dumbbells than a barbell, especially in a circuit style with shorter rest periods. The key here is you do a slight hip dip and then you drop under the weight as you move into a split stance position. Sticking that gives you good single leg balance and stability. We're switching legs each rep. Have fun with it. This gets really metabolic at about 30 seconds in. A minute will really test you. Keep popping those hips. In my opinion, split thrusters are probably the most challenging exercise in existence. It's a split squat to overhead press, and it's a full body metabolic firestorm. Now, these can be done quickly, but I actually like to really slow the eccentric phase to get more muscle gain stimulus. You can also notice too that I can split squat to press. I can also start with the weights at shoulder level, and as I lower into a split squat, the arms finish overhead, which actually really challenges your upper mid back more, the mid lower traps. So mix those up.